Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 11, 18.11, detailed view of the syntax. So far I have been explaining all the concepts and demonstrated some programs also, point-wise programs. Now let us focus on the syntax of exception handling code, how to write. As I told you already, we have to identify the piece of code or a single statement where the scope of runtime error is. We need not bother about syntax errors, because if any syntax errors are present in our program, compiler will take care of. Compiler does not allow to compile that until unless the syntax errors are 100% rectified. So we need not bother about it. Now in exception handling, we are focusing on runtime errors, runtime exceptions means runtime errors and other fatal errors. So here some errors can be handled. As I told you already, all errors cannot be handled. For which errors we can handle and all that, for that we can write exception handling mechanism. Because of this exception handling code in the program, we can reduce the risk, we improve the fault tolerance of the program. By that, we can uphold the confidence of the users. So now let us focus on the actual syntax. Now this is the try block. Try block, actually you may get a doubt whether we can write one try block or multiple try blocks in a same program. Actually it depends on the error prone code. Actually in your program there are 4 critical statements. They may, if there is any scope of throwing errors, for all 4 separately you have to write try block. You have to write complete exception code, exception handling code. That point you must understand. Suppose 3 statements are there and 3 statements may throw or may generate different types of errors, means you should not put them in one try block. That means for every error prone statement or set of statements, you have to create a separate try block. That point always you remember. And for every try block, you have to create a catch block and finally block, or catch block or finally block. That I already explained to you. So this is the error prone code. Apart from error prone code, any other relevant statements you can put, nothing wrong in that, but different statements which may generate different types of errors should not be put in one try block. Then compiler never compiles it. That point you must remember. Okay, in this already I explained this program. That's why in order to explain it easily, I have taken the same example. Here actually the scope of arithmetical exception is there. The scope of arithmetical exception is there. Here you see what we are doing. We are reading 3 values, A, B, C integer values, and we are making a calculation, that is A by B minus C. Okay. Now if you analyze that, how many types of exceptions are created? That being a programmer, you must be in a position to assume that actually suppose one minister is going outside for public visit, then being a security person, you must foresee how many types of risks are there for the VIP, for the minister. You have to think of, and for all of them to plug the loopholes and to provide security, you should create everything. Suppose one ambulance, if you maintain and all that, what type of problems may come for them, which medicines, which first aid, which treatment is required and all that you have to put in the ambulance. In the same manner, here being a programmer, you should know what type of problems are there, that you can, once you get experience and all that, you can easily know. So, in the simple code, now you see here there is scope of 3 types of errors. One thing I am telling you, the straight way may be 1 or 2, but wrong ways are multiple. There may be in 360 degrees. That point always you remember. So, you must assume what are the scope of errors. Now, in this, what scope is there? Now, first one, we are reading through command line. So, at command line, what problems are there? Actually, here we want 3 arguments. 3 arguments are given, then this is possible. So, lesser than 3 arguments may give. You may not give any arguments, you may give 1 argument, you may give 2 arguments. So, that is one of the problems. So, in such case what happens? One array is created, already explained to you. Now, that array whatever you are representing here, that is not matched with that. Suppose you created an array with the 2 items. Actually, if you give 2 values, only array is created, string array is created only with the 2 elements, but you are representing the 3rd element. Suppose you did not enter any arguments at command line at the time of interpretation, then array is having no content, no elements are there, that is a empty array, but you are representing. You are calling element, you are using element here. That is why in such case array index out of bound exception is created. Okay. Now, number 2, actually you must give here integer values you have to give. If you give any other value and all that, it is not relevant, it does not convert, it cannot parse. Suppose you have given, instead of entering 5, you entered 5. In such case, this 5 cannot be converted into this 5. So, that is number format. Number format exception may be thrown. So, as far as command line is concerned, input is concerned, there are 2 probable errors. Third one, if you come here at the time of calculation, integer division by 0. Integer division by 0 was not defined by mathematics. That is why computer cannot calculate. So, arithmetic exception may be thrown. Like that, one VIP is visiting public, 10 types of risks are there. So, 10 types of risks are there. If you presume 10 types of risk, 10 types of precautions you must take to prevent the problem. Okay. So, in the same manner you have to do that. That code only we write here. Now, one thing I am telling you, suppose everything is all right. Now, we have given correct values and no error occurred. Then all this is ignored. All the catch blocks are simply ignored. In the same manner, continuation of same illustration, no risk happened to the minister. So, all the security, all the ambulance, everything have no use, but anything goes wrong, they have their role to play. That point you understand. In the same way, catch block is used. That is why catch block you must use only relevant code, and you should not write any task oriented code. That point always remember, because if nothing is happened, it is this block entire, all these blocks are simply ignored. That is why only exception handling code you write. Okay. Now, we see how we are writing. Already I told you, a little later I am going to explain all the exception clauses and error clauses. Now, already I introduced them, that is why I need not make any special focus. Here you see arithmetic exception E, second one array index out of bound exception E, and third one number format exception E. And one more thing I have to tell you in this context, You need not write in a particular order, you may write in any order. Suppose arithmetic exception may be created here, but I have written first, that is not a problem. You write, suppose if it is created first it is attached. Suppose here number format exception is thrown, then first it goes here, it is not the correct doctor, and it goes here, not the correct doctor, this is the correct doctor, it gives the treatment, understand, it handles them. So this order is not specific, any order you can follow. So immediately after try block, you must write all the set of one or more catch blocks. Then immediately after catch block, you must write finally block if you want to write. It is not compulsory, already I told you. If you write a try block, you can write catch block and finally block, or otherwise only catch block you can write, or only finally block you can write. In other words, if you write a try block, either catch block or catch blocks and finally block, or catch block or finally block are compulsory. Already this point many times I explained to you, and in between these blocks you should not write any other code. And one more thing, if they have single statement also, you must create a block. Exception handling code without creating blocks you should not do. Okay. As far as finally block is concerned, as I told you already, it is used for cleaning, clean the resources. So for that purpose, actually that I to closing files, web connection, etc. and all that. So whether task is exception is thrown or not, this is executed. Every time it is executed. So such type of code you have to write here. So exception is thrown or not, finally block is executed. This point you must remember. In this manner, you have to write exception handling code. And as I told you already, now this is one set of error prone area. If you find multiple sets of error prone areas in the same program, multiple sets of the exception handling code you have to write. And one more thing, you may feel that the code is the program length is size is so much increased because of that, but even though it is a overhead, we must follow, because every day we close our doors, lock it and take all safety measures and go. Because of that, some time we have to spend, even though security is more important. That is why even though it is a overhead, we strictly follow that. In the program also, we must write the exception handling code. Because of that, the fault tolerance of the program is increased. By that the public may rely on that. Otherwise, it cannot tolerate faults and all that. For every mistake it is collapsed. Then people cannot rely on the software. That point always you remember. Even though the size of the program increased also, we must write exception handling code in all the corresponding places where the scope of error is there.